Now, Amina, the mother of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, was traumatized by the death of her beloved husband, who had only lived with her for a few months after their marriage. And just to make it clear, he died at the age of 25, when he was 25 years old. He died before the birth of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. And he only lived with Amina for a few months after their marriage. So she wept bitterly and wailed severely, as her fetus had already become an orphan. So Muhammad ﷺ became an orphan even before he was born. It had before he was born. But she pushed herself to stay strong and perseveres. She found consolation in Abdul Muttalib, who took good care of her and showed her much compassion. Her pregnancy was surprisingly very comfortable and easy. In her dream one night, someone came to her as she was sleeping and said to her, "You are pregnant with the leader of the Prophet and the Prophet of this nation." He came to her again just before she was to give birth and said, "Say after you deliver him, I seek protection for him with the one, the Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from the evil of every jealous person. Then name him Muhammad." In this way, Amina continued to see dreams more often than once. Her dreams is to give her glad tidings, to strengthen her, to encourage her, and to be patient and console her, and indicated the greatness of the child to be born to her. The delivery day was a great day. It was dawn, which was to remove the darkness of deviation from mankind. Yes, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was born in spring, after cold weather and the thunders of the winter, and after the darkness of its clouds. It was in spring, after the heat and scorching difficulties of the summer, and after the dryness and changes in nature which come with the winter. The majority of scholars agree that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was born in spring. Amina radiallahu anha said, "When I delivered him, a light came out with him that illuminated all that was between the east and the west. The light illuminated palaces and markets of Syria until I saw the necks of the camels in Basra. I saw three erected flags, one at the east and one at the west, and the third over the Kaaba." Abdul Muttalib, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ's grandfather, came and took the boy and named him Muhammad, and took him to the Kaaba. While circumambulating the Kaaba, he said, "Praise be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who gave me this important boy. I seek Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's protection from him." It was a culture and a custom to the Quraysh at that time to take newborn and circumambulate the Kaaba and thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the blessings. Some of the above was narrated by Amina to Halima, the Prophet Muhammad's wet nurse. And now we're going to get to different names, but for the simplicity's sake, I want you to remember these names. So we have Amina, who is the mother of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. We have Halima, who is the wet nurse of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. It is here that Halima bint Abi Dhu'ayb entered the life of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. Let's not confuse Halima bint Abi Dhu'ayb with Halima Sa'diyah. Halima Sa'diyah will come later on in the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ's life. So this is Halima bint Abi Dhu'ayb. So Halima bint Abi Dhu'ayb entered the life of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ as his second mother. But the first taste of milk which entered the Prophet's noble stomach was by a woman named Thuwayba. Thuwayba. Alright, so Thuwayba is the first person, the first woman to uh, breastfeed the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. Who is Thuwayba? Thuwayba is a freed maid of his uncle Abu Lahab. Abu Lahab. We have a chapter called تبت يدا أبي لهب وتب ما أغنى عنه ماله وما كسب. Alright? So his uncle, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ's uncle, is Abu Lahab. Abu Lahab's original name is Abdul Uzza. Abdul Uzza. That's his original name. Abu Lahab, who dearly loved his brother Abdullah, who is the father of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. Abu Lahab was gravely saddened by the death of his brother Abdullah. And when his freed maid Thuwayba, when Thuwayba came to him and broke the good news of the birth of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ to him, he was so happy that he set her free. He was so happy that he set her free. So she was the slave of Abu Lahab. That was the habit of the Arab nobleman at that time. As a source of pride and happiness and glory by them, they would free slaves. It appeared that Thuwayba stayed with Amina for a few days. Thuwayba stayed with Amina for a few days after she delivered. Thuwayba, it happened that she was just given birth herself as well. So hence, she breastfed the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ until Halima came and took him to the desert. Until Halima As-Sa'diyya. I'm going to leave Halima As-Sa'diyya here in the bottom because we have many other names to talk about. Halima As-Sa'diyya. All right, Halima As-Sa'diyya. The role that Halima As-Sa'diyya was to play in the Prophet's early childhood was fundamental and very important. And also his stay with her was full of important events. We have another name of another woman, radiallahu anha. Her name is Abdul Rahman. Abdul Rahman ibn Auf was the midwife. The midwife. Abdul Rahman. All right, so Abdul Rahman was the midwife. Obviously, the midwife is the first woman to see the miracle. She was the first woman to see the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. We have another woman, radiallahu anha. Her name is Ayman, was a slave from Africa. Ayman, as we said, she was a slave from Africa. She was the slave of Amina, the mother of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. As we said, it was custom for them at that time to have slaves live with them.